We continue now at the top of Daf Kafala from Beis Meseches Pesachim. This is Pesachim Daf 101b. Rabbi Yochanan here continues his statement: V'echad shinoi makom ein tzarich levarich. When it comes to shinoi makom as well, you don't need to make a new bracha. Meaning, again, if a person makes a bracha bori pri hagafen in the shul, and then he moves and he has his meal at his house, he will not need to make a new bori pri hagafen. Rabbi Yochanan is lenient even in that situation. So the Gemara asks, Meisvei, we have the following question. It says, Shinoi makom tzarich levarich. It says that if you have a change in the area, in your location, you do need to make a new bracha. Shinoi yayin ein tzarich levarich. If you have a change in the wine, like we said before in the previous Talmud, that Rabbi Yochanan said, you don't need to make a new bracha just because you open up a new barrel of wine, even if there's a difference in the quality. But in any case, the Gemara says, Tiyufta de Rabbi Yochanan, Tiyufta, this is indeed a refutation of Rabbi Yochanan, because it says explicitly over here, Shinoi makom tzarich levarich. Yosef Ravidi Baravin Kamei de Rav Chisda. Ravidi Baravin was sitting in front of Rav Chisda. V'Yosef Rav Chisda v'Ka'amar Mishmei de Rav Huna. And Rav Chisda was saying, and he was saying in the name of Rav Huna as follows: Hadi Amrit Shinoi Makom Tzarich Levarich. That which we say that if you have a change in location, you need to make a new bracha. Lo shanu el mibayis lebayis. That's only true from one house to another house. Avol mimakom lemakom lo. But if you're going from one location to another location, then that's not true. You don't need to make a new bracha. They have another girsa over here in the Meseches Hashas. Meseches Hashas says, Lo shanu ela mibayis lebayis avol mipino lepino lo. If you go from one corner to another corner, seems to be the same basic idea, but in any case, it means to say then that it's not considered a shinoi makom. You don't need to make a new bracha if it's mimakom lemakom. So Amar le Ravidi Baravin. So Ravidi Baravin said to him, Hachi tanino lebem asnisa devei Rav Hinik. That's what we learned in the braisas of the yeshiva of Rav Hinik. V'amri lo b'masnisa devei bar Hinik kivasech. Some people will say that it was in the braisa of Bei Bar, not Bei Rav Hinik, but Bei Bar Hinik, meaning kivasech. Exactly like you just said. Again, that the halach is shinoi makom. You need to make a bracha. But if you're going mibayis, if you're going not from bayis lebayis, if you're going just mimakom lemakom, then you don't need to. So the Gemara says, V'yel Rav Huna masnisa kamashmalon. Is Rav Huna just teaching us that which is in a brisa? He's teaching us the same halacha that we find in a brisa. So the Gemara says, Rav Huna masnisa lo shmiyalei. Rav Huna didn't hear the brisa, so he said it over as his own teaching. V'su Yosef Rav Chisda v'kamer mishmei denafshe. Furthermore, Rav Chisda was sitting, and he said, of his own opinion, Hada Amrit Shinoi Makom Tzarich Levarich, that which we say that when it comes to Shinoi Makom, when you change locations, you need to make a new bracha. Lo Amrin Ela B'Dvarim Shein Tunin Bracha Le'acharein B'Mekomon. That's only true when you're talking about things that don't require a bracha achrona in the same place, meaning a chashav bracha achrona, what we would call the bracha me'en shalosh, ala michya, ala peiro, something like that. If you have something which does not require that, it only requires bar nefashos. If you have something that only requires bar nefashos, so then there's halacha shinoi makom. You need to make a new bracha. Avol devarim hatunin bracha la'acharein b'mekomon. But if you have items which require a bracha in a fixed location, a bracha achrona, meaning a chashav bracha achrona, the bracha me'in shalosh. So it's not just a bar nefashos. You're going to be saying an alamichi or something like that. Ein tzarich levarich. So in that case, you do not need to make a new bracha, even if you change location. That's the chiddush here of Rav Chisda. My time, and what's the reason for that? Lekiva kama hader, because he's going back to his original kaviyas. In other words, when a person's eating something of such chashivas, so if he has in mind already to go somewhere else and to continue eating, in that case he doesn't need a new bracha. For Rav Sheshes Samar, but Rav Sheshes disagrees and he says, Echad zeh v'echad zeh tzarich levarich. It doesn't matter what kind of food item it is. It doesn't matter if it's something that requires a bar nefashos or something that requires a bracha me'en shalosh. In all cases, if you change location, you need to make a new bracha. So now the Gemara says, Meisvei, we have a question from the following. It says, B'nei chabura shahayu mesubin lishtos. Let's say you have people from a group and they're sitting down to drink. V'akru raglein, and they uproot their feet. Now the key over here is akru raglein, according to the Gemara, implies they're eating something that has a certain kaviyas, something that requires a bracha me'en shalosh as the bracha achrona. So they're eating something that has a kaviyas, and they leave their spot. Let's say it's likras chasan or likras kala. They're going to greet a chasan or to greet a kala. Kishein yotzin ein te'unin bracha lemafreya. When they leave, they don't need to make a bracha achrona. Kishein chozrin ein te'unin bracha lechatchila. When they return, they don't need to make a bracha rishona. When is that true, though? When is that true? That's if the group doesn't entirely leave. They leave an elderly person back behind, or they leave someone who is ill. So then the whole group hasn't left. But if they don't leave anyone there, not even a zaken, not even a chola, then when they get up, they do need to make a bracha achrona. When they return, they need to make a bracha rishona. So the Gemara says, Minikatani akru raglei. And first of all, from the fact that it says they were akru raglei and they uprooted their feet, Michlal devidvarim hatun and bracha lachrein b'mekom askin. And the implication is we're talking about something that requires a bracha achrona in their place, meaning something that requires a chashuv bracha achrona, like a me'en shalosh. V'taim udinichu sham zaken ochola. Hu de cheshein yotzin ein tun in bracha l'mafreya, u cheshein chozun ein tun in bracha l'chatchila. The only reason why they don't need to make a bracha achrona, bracha rishona, is if they left a zaken there or a chola there, meaning they didn't all leave. Avaloi nichu sham zaken o chola, but if they did not leave behind a zaken or a chola, meaning they all got up and left, keshein yotzin tun in bracha l'mafreya, u cheshein chozun tun in bracha l'chatchila. When they get up to leave, they need to make a bracha achrona, and when they return, they need to make a bracha rishona. And the Gemara says, kasha Rav Chisda, that's a refutation against Rav Chisda. Again, Rav Chisda said, when you're having something that requires a bracha mein shalosh at the end, it requires a chash of a bracha achrona, according to Rav Chisda, you don't need to make a new bracha. You continue along the first bracha. So the Gemara says, Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says, and we'll continue with this discussion in the next video, on Daf Kuf Beis Amud Aleph.